Good evening, everyone. We're currently on pace for the fastest Iditarod ever, but that is not what the Mushers are talking about tonight.
Channel 2's Blake Essig chatted with those Mushers today and joins us live from regroup. Blake.
Well, Mike, Marie, it's the trail conditions that have gotten all the attention from Mushers and race officials, as 12 Mushers have either been scratched or withdrawn from the race, and we're only 200 miles in.
Waving looks like it was in distress.
From what I saw out there,
more than that,
we never should have ran dogs over this trail. We never should have put Mushers' lives at risk. I mean, this is the first time running dogs where I was scared for my life running dogs, and that's a sentiment that's been shared by a lot of dog mushers out there.
Many mushers say this 60-mile stretch from Rainy Pass towards Nikolai was the most dangerous they've ever seen.
Rocks and dirt and everything you could imagine coming down except for snow.
Race officials debated heavily and eventually voted to restart the race in Willow despite concerns surrounding trail conditions.
The ending vote formally was a unanimous decision. Certainly there was a lot of discussion leading up to that.
It was a decision that worried many veteran mushers like Dee Dee Genre.
But I frankly think the decision was a poor one. You know, I'm trying to be kind about it as I can, but, you know, with all my experience, I certainly tried to lobby hard to reconsider. They had a safety route. I've been told you signed up to go from Anchorage to Nome, so there you go, sweetie.
Genre scratched in Roan after injuring her head, knee, and hip, crashing her sled several times along the trail.
So we knew this was coming. We made the choice to be a part of it, but the severity of it was more than we could have imagined.
Leaving veteran mushers like UNAF wondering if officials made an irresponsible decision.
The Iditarod has a trail that not only have I never seen, but I know that I'll never see again because we shouldn't have even been out there.
Iditarod Trail Committee Executive Director Stan Hooley says conditions unfortunately deteriorated several days after crews had prepped the trail.
Some people describe that as in part being due to more animal traffic. I can't say for sure whether that's the case or not, but that's what I'm hearing from race staff. It just froze in an unusual way.
Neff survived the brutal farewell burn, but his sled tells a different story.
A couple miles outside of Nikolai, I realized that I had some issues. So to flip it over, this is what I was running on. Up here, you can see this runner plastic's trashed. The other side, I had no runner plastic on.
While he changed out his sled, Neff knows there are still many miles ahead. You think the worst is yet to come?
Oh, I hope not, but you know, it's Alaska, and we all love Alaska. We love the beauty, but Alaska has another side to her, and you got to be willing to deal with those conditions as well.
While race officials do say that the conditions throughout the interior are good, they are concerned about the lack of snow along the coast, saying the worst may still be ahead. Guys?
So, Blake, you've shown us that the mushers and their sleds were taking a beating in these early stages of the race. How about the dogs? How are they faring?
Well, you know, guys, at this point, the dogs are doing great. They seem happy. I can't see them right now, but some sleeping along the side of the trail over here. But talking to Jake Berkowitz earlier today, and again, he's scratched. He said, as far as the dogs are concerned, they could start to see some issues in about 200 or 300 miles when they get to Ruby. He said that the toll of the first few hundred miles will start to show up, and that he expects a lot of those guys that did make it through the tough part over by the Dalzell Pass to start seeing problems at that point. So we'll see what happens here in the next couple hundred miles.
All right, thanks, Blake. We'll be tuning in later to Kevin along the trail. Thank you so much.
Welcome back, Alaska. The lead mushers in Iditarod 42 have reached the halfway point. Most mushers still a little shy of that, but all mushers have faced rough trails so far. Kevin Wells is live in McGrath with more on that story.
Well, Charlie, safe to say a couple of mushers might be crafting a strongly worded letter to the ITC once this race is over. It has been absolutely brutal. Today we had a chance to catch up with a couple of teams who are trying to regroup and recoup following a very difficult stretch of trail. It's a day of relative inactivity in Iditarod 42 as a pack of mushers laying over in Takotna look ahead to their next run.
I'm hoping to see snow.
Sitting at the 320-mile mark, Takotna is always a popular layover destination. This year, though, it's not the only one. While he sits for 24 hours, reigning champion Mitch Seavey has watched a few teams pass on by, but won't give any a passing thought.
My mentality is that there's a way for me and my team to get to know them the fastest way possible. I think I've identified that way for my team. It would be foolish to react to somebody else.
Mushers are also assessing any cumulative damage to their teams, sleds, and themselves.
Can I get you to sign right here? Are you going to do 24?
I'd like a room at the Armada. Yeah.
All right.
Still on the minds of many, a rocky, snow-deprived trail from Rainy Pass to Nikolai, and whether the Iditarod Trail Committee made a mistake in holding its race on a traditional route.
I'm not going to say. I made it, so, you know, it was extreme.
There's parts of that trail that was way too dangerous. I have never been so terrified for like 6 hours straight and never want to go through that again.
One of the more outspoken critics is Michelle Phillips, who found it difficult to stay upright while her sled was continually flipping on its side.
I had to drop, my favorite wheel dog, and that was a direct result of the trail. And that's not necessary. It seems unfair to ask your animals to do that. Yeah, he's okay, but, it's not necessary. Like, they work so hard, and then you put them in that situation. It's not right.
A 24-hour layover provides physical and emotional recovery time.
I definitely think that now that they'll be able to get into more of a rhythm, and I think things are going to go a lot smoother now.
And that will be instrumental in a race that's been anything but smooth. Now, these complaints about the trail, they're not coming from rookies. Jessie Royer is in her 12th Iditarod, and other mushers as well. Michelle Phillips has done 4 Iditarods plus 6 Yukon Quests. Incidentally, though, 24 of the top 30 teams as of this afternoon had at least 14 dogs still in their team. Charlie?
Well, that's at least a little bit of good news. Thanks, Kevin. Now let's go ahead and look at the current Iditarod leaderboard. Aaron Burmeister is at the halfway point. Burmeister, the winner of the Dorothy Page Halfway Award, he earns $3,000 worth of placer gold and now gets to rest. Expect Burmeister to 24 in cripple. Jeff King and Sonny Lindner also into cripple. Paul Gebhardt and John Baker, they're on the way to that checkpoint. Still at Ophir is Nicholas Petit, Your Life Sif Olsum, Ramey Smith, and Martin Boozer. Boozer, who's already taken his 24-hour rest. Ali Zirkle is the leader of the group back at Takotna, where the majority of the field is taking their 24-hour lay.